Hey, how's it going, everybody? I have a topic that I really want to talk about, and this is something that I don't really mention very often, nor have I ever gotten around to mentioning it, because I had to take a lot of time thinking about, like, you know, where am I going to go from here after me explaining this, you know, thing or change and whatever I want to go about it. So, um, this has to do with me being a furry for quite a long time now. And I've basically have peaked over a decade. And, I've started in this hobby like about a year after I got out of high school, and this was like in late of 2012. Well, actually, I should say it goes back a little further than that. I started on the social media part of it, in like 2010. I made a Fur Affinity account and everything, and I was doing that for a while. And then 2 years later, I just somehow uh, coincidentally, surprisingly, met furries in real life. It was, down in West Hollywood in October, and I was with some people from church, and they took me down there, and I just saw some fursuiters, and that's where it all kind of went from there. Um, Later in like in 2012, I went to my first meetup at the Prancing Skill Terror, and it was a very popular meetup, that's been around for a long time, and that's taken place in Garden Grove, um, California, and at the time I went, it was just packed with people, so it was really cool to see that. Then I went to my first furry convention in 2013 at Further Confusion. Then went to Cali Fur. I went from 2013 to 2017, and then went to BLFC a couple times. So I have a whole history. Met some great people, some good friends. So on and forth. Um, but um, despite all those good times, it's not like that anymore. Had a, I've had a couple friends move out of state. Couple died, or just a couple that don't even talk to me anymore, lost connection with. And ever since 2020 started, yeah, the pandemic going around, but haven't been very active in the community, honestly, and just the fandom overall. Even though I've done my occasional browsing online, on Twitter, sometimes on Fur Affinity, and but not really as social, honestly. I'm not a big social kind of guy on the internet, just because it's not my thing, and I prefer to be out in person around people. I've always been that way, you know. So social media is just something like I just see what's going on, and I see a lot of things. It's amazing what people things go on in there. But it's also not been my you know greatest um, you know um, what is it called? I don't want, do I say revenue or avenue? Um, where I've had like my difficult times back then. Most of it was on the internet, but when I was just entering the furry fandom, I really wanted a new start for myself. I wanted, my hopes was to make friends here and be able to connect with the right ones, and I feel like I did. But then I felt like there were just some crowds that I got mixed up with that really weren't for me. But again, I had my issues, and I feel like that's gone on for such a long time where, now it's like people are, have like know me for that and don't even want to really be around me because they think I'm the same person from the past. I'm like, no, dude, you know what? I've shaped up. I am way better off than I was before. So, I don't need to get into a whole explanation about that. All I can say is I'm doing okay. But as far as this hobby of mine goes, I just feel like I'm not really feeling it anymore. Furry is something I don't think about a lot. I kind of go to it really like whenever, I do my, you know, internet browsing on Twitter or sometimes FA, and and just look at art, fave a couple things, but I just haven't been at many meetups. I haven't been able to go to many conventions. One, I can't afford it. Two, I can't get the time off. So, it's just one of those things. I'm just like, I'm just not feeling it anymore. I'm not gonna like say I'm gonna completely give up furry. I mean, but it's like, I feel like I've gone from like the percentage I used to be into it. I'd say like from the time I started to maybe about, I don't know, like I'd say maybe 2017 or 2018 is when my percentage of interest started going down. And then even 2020 came about, it really went down. I'd say I'm probably maybe like about 10 to maybe 20% interested into it. And that's it. I don't really suit up that much anymore, even though I have a suit, but I outgrew that suit, and I got that first suit back in 2016. It was my first one. And, sometimes if I want to throw on my head, I'll throw on my head, and, just for the heck of it, but I'm just not into it like other people are. I've been kind of just, doing like things that, for who I am. Like, furry doesn't define who I am. Yeah, my fursona is my character. It is totally like me, a part of me. But it's not going to make me any different than who I really am as a person. And I tell a lot of people this in the furry fandom, like, anybody who wants to interact with me, I get it that, this is a fandom and people like furry stuff, but they have to, understand, like, the fursona is not any different than me as a person. Nothing about my personality really changes, and other than the looks, I have a suit on of my character, but my personality is still generally the same. Now there's times I've kind of opened up and did some goofy things or whatever, but I don't know. I feel like I've been more myself outside of the suit, and this just works for me. I know there's people out there that are the opposite, that they can't come out of their shell as their real self, and they go to their fursona and wear a fursuit, which helps them come out of their shell more, and come out of their shyness or come out of their anxiety, and can be themselves a lot more than they are as a person. So I get that everybody is different, and when I see them with the suit, they are totally, just out there. Now, see, I used to not be out there when I was my real self. I too thought the suit would bring that person of me out more. But in fact, as I've been, getting older, and I'm not trying to say like I'm old, I'm still young. I mean, shit, I'm gonna be 31 within a couple of days, and but I've, not only have I gained maturity and more experience, but I think with being at my job a lot, because I'm around like a lot of people at work and employees and other things like this, and even in like outside of work, I interact with a lot of people, and if I feel good about somebody, I will talk to them. So it's not like I'm not social at all. I'm just selectively social. I am mostly an introvert. I've known that for a long while with myself, but I generally, just go with what my gut feeling tells me. Like, I will adapt if I feel comfortable around, like, whether it's a person or a place or anything like that. But basically what I'm saying is the furry thing. Okay, maybe I could still be in the fandom, but I don't need a suit to be who I am. You know what I mean? That's why I haven't really been in my suit that much. If a lot of people have noticed that, and I haven't been posting many pictures of my suit, I haven't done any of that. I've actually been posting more pictures and videos of my real self because I want people to see who I am. I want people to like me for who I am as a person. Now I'm not saying like me to be my friend or like me because of this or like me because of that. No, I want to be liked for who, just as I am as a person. I don't want to hide who I really am. That's just not who I am. I mean, yeah, it's fun to be in character and do different things and all that sort of stuff, but yeah. So the question is, am I gonna leave this furry fandom? No, I don't think I'm ever gonna not stop liking furry. It's just I've just been gonna be making changes to where I'm not gonna be able to go to every meetup like everybody else does. I'm not gonna be able to go to every convention like everybody else does. I don't have that luxury. I don't have that time. And you know what? For the years I've been in the fandom for, I am amazed that a lot of people can go to more than one convention in the year. Now, let me tell you this. I have the most cons I've gone to in the past was 3 cons a year. And that was a lot. But that's because they were divided in a time what is it called? A time frame? Yeah. That I was able to plan those, and they were, flexible. So it was good. But, and there were local cons too, that I can drive to. But other cons that are outside of state, I'm sorry, I've never flown in my life for one, and I can't afford to fly, and I don't know if I would really like to fly, to be honest with you. I'm kind of generally afraid of heights, so the point is I just don't have that luxury like other people do, and good for them. I'm happy that they can do all that and afford to go to these things and get the time off. I just, unfortunately, with how my life is, and I'm committed to a job where I have a very strict schedule, and so yeah. And even with meetups, I'm very, well, I'm selective on both. Selective on meets and selective with cons. I mean, honestly, if I went back to a con, I would have to probably choose maybe Further Confusion, because that was my very first convention I went to in 2013 when I was starting as a furry, and I have some great, memories from that place. It's a fun con. I heard that it did really well this year after being, in quarantine for at least a long while. I think the last time FC happened was 2020? Yeah. So, I heard it was great this year. So if I did go back, I would say that would be the one con I'd go to. Cali Fur is another con I used to love. which is no more. It ended in 2017. Rest in peace, because it was really a fantastic convention. And I remember it used to be at the Marriott when I started, but it got switched over to, Fairplex, out in Pomona. And it was first time in 2016 there. But that, something just happened and failed. And then BLFC. I love that convention, but it has become so massive from what I've heard. And you know what? I mean, it's fun. The only thing I like about that convention really is I love the pool, I love the rooms, and, there are things to do. Sometimes I like going down into the casino area and getting food and, and most of all, I love the bowling alley. That is my things. But, BLFC is really kind of a party con, to be honest with you. And I'm not a big party goer, I don't really do any of that. Yes, I've been to some, couple of bars / clubs out here in Los Angeles and such, but it's just not my scene, I'm a very easygoing, mellow kind of guy, and just generally I don't like a lot of big crowds, so I think that's why I'm leaning more towards FC, because it's not that massive of a con, and it's just, I love it. It's pretty laid back. It's fun, and it's in one space, so it's pretty cool. Anyway, I guess that's all I can say. So if anybody is wondering, what I'm gonna do from here is I'm basically doing my own thing kind of outside of the fandom. And, I mean, even though I still pop up here and there, I'm mostly like browsing on Twitter a lot. I'll try to talk to some people, but, I don't talk in many group chats on Telegram. I just don't spend a lot of time on social media. I'm just not into that. And, like I said, like just doing my own thing. I'm basically doing more of my normal life, like I'll do my work, and take care of other things, chill out. I mostly play my games, and then I go and play my sports. I play a lot of disc golf. Got into that recently. Love to get more people to play, but yeah, I just thought I'd tell you guys that there's just going to be some big changes. So, from the amount of times that I used to be really into furry, it's definitely gone downhill. It's just, that's the way it is. But, that doesn't mean I still don't have my love for it. It is fun. I gotta admit, it has good things, and it is different, it is fun. I like to see the good things about it, aside from, the fandom having its, bullshit of drama, and drama has gone really worse in this fandom. I've actually recently made a video talking about that and did some commentary, discussion, that I've noticed that, there is a lot of toxicity in this fandom. I'm seeing a lot of people being judgmental towards one another, just being discriminating and biased, and people having their cliques and all these kind of things, and and it's kind of like high school drama, I'm sorry to say, and majority of the furries that are in this fandom are really young. I mean, there's people starting out as teenager, but mostly 18 and 20-year-olds. And I mean, nothing against them, but it's just, they have a different mindset of things. And I feel like a lot of these people, I get it. I was there once when I was in my young 20s. I had to go through a growing period. A lot of people at a very young age are still growing and developing and learning. We're all immature. I mean, school, we were all immature. I used to dislike a lot of people that were just fucking, irritating. But then I look back, like, because I'm older now, I'm like, oh, okay, we got over that. You know, one of the nice things about entering my 30s is, I feel like I'm at my prime now. And I used to be so afraid of, like, oh my God, I'm going to get up there and get older. I mean, you know, but I'm not going to live my life in fear. But yeah, I do miss the good times that I used to have, but now it's just not like that anymore. But I mean, from how it used to be, but I still feel like I can enjoy life now compared to how I did before. Because I'm aware of things, I know what's best for myself, and, I'm not going to put myself in situations that make me uncomfortable, and, I'm just not going to do something that I don't like. Now that can't be really helped when I'm at work, because I have to do a lot of things there that I just don't like, but I have to do it because I got to make fucking money. But when I'm outside of that, I'm going to do what I want to do. Because, I should do what I want to do. I have to live my life to the fullest, I can't be there to please and satisfy everybody. I just realized, like, hey, if this person is not for me, then they're, we don't click, or, that's cool. I just realized there's people that aren't meant to be. Now, if I was to say, like, hey, I would love to be friends with so-and-so, as long as, like, our differences don't clash, that we're accepting of one another, that we're supportive of each other, and that all that matters the most is that we value each other. If this other person values me, I will value them. It's like the saying goes, treat people how you want to be treated. And that's what I look at it as. That's one of the big things I look for in any kind of relationship, friendship, acquaintance, or even if I had a partner, like, like a soulmate, then yeah. But if those people are not good for me, then I just want to say, like, hey, okay, we don't have to be friends, but I don't want to be enemies. I don't want any bad blood between us, So, anywho, that's all I wanted to say, and I really wanted to get that off my chest. And I hope all of you out there understand that I've learned a lot from being in this fandom for a long time. I will forever cherish the good memories I've had with things in the past, and I am sad that there are people that are no longer alive anymore here. I had a very close friend that passed away 2 years ago, and I miss him dearly because he was my first close friend I met on Fur Affinity, and it's actually interesting that when I got to know him and I roomed together at my first furry convention at FC, and that was in 2013, and our friendship went from there. We've been long friends ever since. So, when he passed away in 2021, it really hit me, and I just wish he was still here. This person I'm mentioning, by the way, his name, he went by a lot of names, but he was known as Midnight Oil on Fur Affinity, and then he went to being Konaru, and he also had a name called Houndoom. So, I think I got that right. Oh no, FA was Houndoom, Midnight Oil, and then Konaru. And his real name was Chris Rebar. He was a furry in Southern California, lived in Frazier Park, and, he was just a cool guy, and I really miss him. And then, I lost my ex-boyfriend. He died in a motorcycle accident in the year 2020, and that was very heartbreaking. So, the 2020s have been really bad fucking years so far. And I hope it doesn't continue with this going up to into the 2030s very soon, but I'm hoping that things do get better. I mean, we've all gone over COVID now. I mean, there's vaccines, there's this, there's that, so it seems like it's all going good. But yeah. And then, people I've known that I used to see at meetups out here and hang out with and such, like I said, they're either not in the furry scene anymore, or, they're just kind of doing their thing too. And maybe still like furry, but they're just not going to meets or cons that much anymore. And they're kind of doing like what I'm doing, like it seems like the furries that are like over 30 kind of just like mellowed out more. And, that's cool. If I were to hang out with anybody in the fandom, I either hang out one on one or like in small groups. Like, I don't really do many big, things, Um, like, I just do some casual, like, stuff. I'd love to have people over and hang out, but, it's just, I don't have really much of a space. I live in my dad's place, and so, you know, it's like, just I don't have a space for that, but I'm working towards that to when if I get a house one day, maybe I might have some people over that I know very well that are I wouldn't just have anybody over. So that's what I'm basically kind of going about it. Anyway, that's it, and I appreciate everybody listening to me and what I had to say, and that's what I'm basically gonna do from now on. So like I said, I'm still around. It's just like I'm just really busy these days, and doing my own thing, but I'm staying busy. I am finding ways to enjoy myself, and that's all that matters. So I just got to keep moving forward. All right, guys, you all take care. Thanks for everything, and you all take care. Bye.